Well, joining me now for more on Operation Fast and Furious, a member of the House Oversight Committee who is leading the investigation, Congressman Trey Gowdy of South Carolina joins us. We heard from Senator Chuck Grassley, your chairman, Congressman Darrell Issa. This is going to be pursued. You're at the forefront of the interrogatories, if I may. You saw what happened. I mean, is Lanny Breuer a credible witness to you?
No, sir. This is a damning document dump. Lanny Breuer knew in December of 2009 about Fast and Furious. December of 2009. He knew that there was gun walking involved. Leave wide receiver out of it. He knew about Fast and Furious in 2009 or January 2010. Lou, they assigned a Department of Justice prosecutor to Fast and Furious in March of 2010. Attorney General Holder's now Chief of Staff, Gary Grindler, knew where the weapons were being recovered in Mexico in March of 2010. Apparently, the only person at the Department of Justice who was not aware of Fast and Furious or gun walking or problems was the Attorney General. The one person who's supposed to know about it apparently is the only one who didn't, because his top lieutenants most certainly did. Mr. Breuer on his website says he's one of the best lawyers in America, that he won an award as one of the best lawyers. You could be an intern in a DA's office and know better than to do what he did, and now to try to correct it by saying, well, I should have done this and I should have done that, it's not going to work. Mr. Breuer will be back. We have a lot of questions for him. Mr. Breuer will be lucky to hang on to his job.
Well, the fact of the matter is, I mean, you've got Lanny Breuer conflating Operation Wide Receiver and Operation Fast and Furious. In this one instance, the Justice Department is transparent. They're playing political games with an answer to a very serious investigation by the U.S. Congress. The idea that he would think that that was cute and clever is beyond me. What are your thoughts?
Well, Lou, what he's trying to do is what we did when we were kids. Our defense was, well, I'm not the only one doing it. Such and such is doing it. They wanted to blame the Bush administration for wide receiver. Well, lo and behold, Lanny Breuer knew about wide receiver. He didn't lift a finger to stop it. He didn't offer any corrective measures. And then he went and approved an investigation, if that's the right word, that is larger in scope, and heavens knows it's larger in chaos and destruction and collateral damage than wide receiver ever dreamt of being. This blaming of the Bush administration may have lasted, that may have been a good excuse for the first 6 months the president was in office, but people are tired of that now. And with Lanny Breuer's fingerprints, more than his fingerprints, his DNA is on both wide receiver and Fast and Furious all the way back to early 2010.
And in fact, the Attorney General's top two aides, the head of the criminal division, Breuer, his chief of staff, both fully knowledgeable on Operation Fast and Furious, and still there seems to be an inability on the part of the Justice Department to say, we're sorry and we regret the disaster that befell our neighbor to the south, in which 200 citizens were killed, and to the families of both the Border Patrol agent and the Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent who were murdered by guns that this administration let move into the hands of the drug cartels.
Lou, Gary Grindler and Lanny Breuer were more than just aware of Fast and Furious. They aided and abetted the investigation. They sat in on debriefings. They knew that there were weapons being recovered in Mexico. I have read emails where they knew that that was part of the investigation, that we're going to wait until the weapons are recovered in Mexico at a crime scene. Who ever heard of an investigation where you wait until there's another crime committed to then go collect the weapons? And then there's a memo where they discuss we can get our Mexican counterparts to run the trace for us. Well, how are you going to get Mexican law enforcement to run a trace for you when you haven't even bothered to tell them about the investigation, and their citizens are being murdered by guns that come from a federal law enforcement agency in the United States, and they expect Mexican law enforcement to cooperate?
Trey Gowdy, we appreciate you being with us, and we should point out, as you evaluate the capability of Lanny Breuer as a prosecutor, Congressman Gowdy himself, a former federal prosecutor and and as you can tell, an outstanding public servant now as congressman. We thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Lou.
Up next.